Loi Kai Tai Chuang, https://www.editing-the-marriage-scene-was-taken-seriously/chapter-1. Editing the marriage scene of the fan game was taken seriously Chapter 2. However, the system birds did not bird him. Although he has crossed over, it seems that he has no system or plug-in. In this Naruto world where the bloodline fights backstage, it's still a fart. Still thinking about the heir every second, marrying by Fume, and going to the top of the ninja world. There is no plug-in. All that is nonsense. After all, the world of Hokage is like that. There is no cheating, no matter how hard you work, ordinary people will at most reach the level of Shaoli, even if they reach the level of Kai, 8 or so, it is only a once-in-a-lifetime flash. Unless the talent is excellent, it may be a few grades higher. And even so, in the end, when Lu Daoban comes out, he will be hanged and beaten, and when Kagaya comes out, he will be directly hanged on Dongnan branch. And if there is not enough strength and background, by Fume or something will be even farther away. After all, the few beauties that you like most are either from a big family like Hyuga, or you are very powerful, and if you don't have enough strength and backstage, you can go after them. If you can't catch it, you might as well not travel through it and play a fan game in the original world. In the game, he is still in various branches, and has successfully married every favorite heroine. Some even have children at the end. Then mix and cut the video, make up your own brain, and complete the corresponding plot. You can come up with a game that does not exist in the world, kill the quartet in the world of Naruto, marry all the beauties you like, and go to the pinnacle of the ninja world. The story of Perfect Empress. Palace. Line. Although it's just a story, at least being able to satisfy yourself is better than not being able to catch up now. But now. Why? Qin Yun sighed in disappointment. But at this moment, an image suddenly appeared in midair. Moreover, what was played in the video turned out to be mixed cut by myself, half truth and half fake, took my YY's, perfect harem. Palace. Line, video. Qin Yun himself was also shocked. Subconsciously, he quickly glanced at Hinata not far away. Invitation to dinner. Invitation to team up. Practice together. Together task. Point enhancement. Change clothes. Attitude/enemy and I. Qin Yun. The relevant interface in the game actually surfaced at this time. Moreover, according to the information that I quickly received just now, my current body and identity are actually the starting character and setting of a certain line in the game. Kamadai Haruyan, 12 years old, a distant relative of the Yuhi family, and current neighbor, orphan of the Nine-Tails Rebellion. Specialty, illusion materialization, potential, optional when creating a character. Illusion materialization, a subspecies of phantasmagoria. It can temporarily and actually materialize fantasy things, but it consumes a lot of chakra. In the absence of sufficient strength, only small knives, kunai, shuriken, etc. can be quickly and temporarily manifested, and the corresponding items will disappear after 20 seconds from the caster. This is the most suitable opening for the Yuhi Red line and certain other lines. But it's not the beginning of the Hinata line. After all, the original Hinata line requires the male protagonist to meet Hinata since he was a child, and to get ahead of Naruto, practice hard as the tail of the crane, let Hinata see it, and let Hinata fall in love from a young age. In addition, since he does not have various special identities like Naruto, if he wants to marry Hinata, he has to be born from the Hinata clan. The setting of the protagonist of Yuhi Red line is obviously different from this. So this line can't even attack Hinata, but a single heroine ending, or a bad end without a heroine. It is precisely because some female protagonists of the fan game are incompatible, even if there is a so-called official harem. Palace. Line, only 3 female protagonists can be accepted at the same time, so Qin Yun had to play a few more times, and put each hero all the favorite heroines have been collected, and then edited into a video, as a perfect line, put on the computer, self-entertainment, self-satisfaction. Satisfaction. Of course, in a sense, this is probably a deliberate strategy used by the producers in order to let players play more times, or to sell another wave to make money when the perfect harem palace line is released in the future. It's just that you have your strategy, and I also have mine. For a tech house, it's nothing to worry about. As long as every favorite heroine can go through it, I'll edit a perfect story for myself. In my editing, without the identity of the Hinata clan, without being restricted by any caged bird, they all marry Hinata. What's more, Chin Yun is not liked by every Naruto heroine. For example, Sakura and Ino, he doesn't like it very much, especially Sakura. Therefore, if the official, perfect harem palace line is to accept all the female protagonists, he may not be too lazy to play, so he might as well make his own video. But that's all for later. At this moment, the important thing is that this video was actually played in the real Naruto world. Moreover, he seems to be bound to the same operation interface as in the game. Well, although this is not an authentic system, it is barely a hang. After all, this means that you may also open the corresponding skill tree, and you can also strengthen it infinitely like in the game. It is not too different from some special blood successors in the Naruto world that can continue to strengthen and unstoppable skills. The game is ready to play. And at the same time as Chin Yun regained his composure, the corresponding video, at the same time, has been broadcast to the entire ninja world, including certain people in Konoha village, and what? Hinata actually confessed to the Kachinyan-kun, who he had never heard of. Sister Hyuga clan, Hyuga Hizu was shocked. Beside, Hana was also surprised. In that peculiar picture, the elder sister is really very similar to her now. Although her appearance has changed a little, it has become more beautiful, but her shy, timid and gentle temperament is undoubtedly true. Sister Hinata, who is not a replacement. And if this peculiar picture is really the future sister and brother-in-law, the elder sister will actually summon up the courage and take the initiative to confess. What kind of man is that, Chin Yun Jun? Chapter 3 Hinata turns out to like Kamadai Haruyan. Jun Chin Yun. Who is this? Have you heard of it? I haven't heard of it. How about you? I've never heard of it. I seem to have heard that the Yuhi family has a distant relative who is called Chin Yun. That girl from the Rishiang family would take the initiative to confess to him. Compared to this, what should be paid more attention to, shouldn't it be what is going on in this picture? Yeah. Is this an illusion, or what? In Konoha village, in various shinobi villages, and in the whole world, countless people were talking quickly in amazement. Unlimited monthly reading. Even the black half who was hiding in a dark place couldn't help but be surprised. The picture in front of me seems to be thrown into the whole world. In terms of the scope of the spell, only infinite monthly reading can compare with it. But he is far from completing the casting of infinite monthly reading. And herself, as Kagaya's will, isn't the type that knows illusions. Then it can be said in reverse. This is not illusion. So what exactly is it? Xiaonan, did you see it too? Yes, Nagato. Yuin village, Nagato and Xiaonan also frowned. Empirically speaking, they also quickly concluded that this was not an illusion. After all, generally speaking, the purpose of using illusion is to control people or bewitch someone. But at this moment, the picture displayed in front of him not only has no controlling influence on him at all, but the characters and scenes in it have nothing to do with me. Hinata. Chinyin-kun. Who is this with whom? If I had to say something worth noting, it would be the girl named Hinata, who had clear white eyes. Could it be that this blind eye will stop his plan and stop the nine-tailed capture in the future? But the girl in the picture is not only young, she doesn't seem to be very powerful, and, if it is an illusion, you can show her powerful strength, even if it is displayed in an exaggerated form, it can at least cause a certain amount of damage to the enemy. Deterrence. As a result, you show her face shyly and timidly confessing to her crush. What kind of deterrent does this create? Is Konoha. In another place, Akatsuki organizes ninjas, and Itachi Uchiha, a master of illusion, feels the same way. He has also performed illusions on people many times, especially his stupid Adudu, but when he performed illusions on Sasuke, he would never broadcast to him a completely unrelated story, such as passerby A to passerby B, confession, such a show of love scene. Because this illusion is useless at all. In terms of motivation, it simply cannot meet the necessary conditions for performing illusions. So what's going on in all of this? Even Uchiha Itachi couldn't understand it at all. Damn it! Someone must have done this. From the Hyuga clan, Hyuga Rizu said indignantly. In fact, he had already given up on this daughter, Hinata, but Hinata was still his daughter in name, and she was a member of the Hinata clan, so she would show up in front of the whole village and possibly even the whole world, to an unknown person. The man confessed, and as the patriarch of his Hyuga, he can also check the roster of the whole family. There is no one named Hyuga Haruyan in the whole family, so that guy is not the Hinata family. The daughter of his own clan would openly confess to a person who is not famous and not from the Hyuga clan. This must be someone using some means to make things happen. That being the case, as the father of the party concerned, as the patriarch of the Hinata clan, of course, he can't sit back and watch. In the sky, this time the picture did not last long. Soon the image disappeared and everything returned to normal. On the other hand, Hyuga Suanzu quickly brought a few Hyuga clan elders and quickly went to the Hokage tower. The same moment. Ninja School. Editing the marriage scene of the fan game was taken seriously. Chapter 3. This. Irika, who was about to read out the group list, was a little hesitant at this time. Although the grouping is just a small matter for me, everything has already been decided, and I just need to read it according to the script. However, the picture just now happened to involve the two students who will appear on the roster next. In this case, it is worth considering whether to continue the reading immediately, or wait for the senior management to clarify this incident and have any new instructions before reading it, or adjust the grouping. Hinata turns out to like Kamadai Haruyan. Wow! I can't tell, the future Hinata looks so pretty. You're so shy and timid, yet you even took the initiative to confess. Did something important happen between them, and made Hinata feel so affectionate towards him? Speaking of which, shouldn't you be paying attention to what happened to the image just now? In the classroom, many students also talked about it. Hinata's face was already as red as sunset. I understand, this must be an illusion. Someone said. But he actually pulled all of us into illusion. That person is very powerful. Is it the strength of Hokage? Another humane said. Although none of the students here, except Haruyan, know how strong the Hokage level strength is, this does not prevent them from seeing someone who is outrageously strong and considers it to be a Hokage level. Hearing Hokage level strength, Sasuke couldn't help frowning. If it is really an illusion, then the biggest suspect of the caster is only one. God of Haruyan. Because only he could be the beneficiary of this illusion. And in the ninja school, his strength in illusion is really good. Among a group of ungraduated genin, he is considered to be upper middle class. However, if this conclusion is accepted, it also means Kamadai Chinyun, who is obviously the same age as himself, but already has the strength of the Hokage level. And his strength is mainly concentrated in illusion. Then further inference, it means that God generation Chinyun, with his non-Uchiha bloodline, actually possesses shadow-level illusion strength. With a non-Uchiha bloodline, he is far superior to Uchiha masters in illusion. This. Is it really what he can do? If he can really do it, then what level of existence is he? For a moment, Sasuke's heart was full of complexities. For a long time, as the new king of this session, although he has experienced genocide, he has been able to maintain a relatively peaceful mentality. After all, he is already the strongest and the best in the same class. Although he should still be unable to beat Itachi, he continues to develop like this and his strength continues to grow. As the strongest, he will definitely have the day to defeat Itachi. But now, this strongest. Not him. The opponent even defeated him in the field he was supposed to be best at. No matter what, it can't keep him calm. Rather than admitting that Kamadai Haruyan performed illusions on everyone in order to confuse Hinata, or something similar, he would rather find other explanations, and even more hope that Kamidai Haruyan was innocent and nothing. Did not do it. Qin-yun, is this the illusion you performed? Beside him, Naruto stood up at this time, and asked Qin-yun directly. Damn, he actually has such strength, I'm not convinced. But in this way, he overwhelmed the one who has always been considered the strongest in the class by pretending to help, as if he was also a little excited about it at the same time. Chapter 4. This is an image from the future, projected into the present. Qin-yun, is this the illusion you performed? This is too amazing. Naruto asked directly. This, I'm surprised too. As for Qin-yun, it seemed that she had just recovered, and said with a look of surprise. He was really surprised. Surprisingly, the video that I mixed and used for my YY was automatically played publicly. And just after a short segment, it stopped again. What on earth is it? Will it continue to play in the future? Or does it stop there? If it is the latter, this may be quite unfavorable to me. Because, if there is no other verification in this period, there is no doubt that everyone will bet on him the suspicion of this incident. Although it was fundamentally and indeed caused by him, but I didn't even expect this to happen. And I just edited the video, I didn't post it on the internet, I posted it to the world. This is like playing a single-player strategy game, creating a few female generals with the names of popular stars, and setting them as your wives, and only playing on your own computer and playing by yourself. As a result, those stars the next day. Sudden prosecution of you for rape, or intent to rape. I'm so. Compared to getting a cheater and becoming the focus all of a sudden, now, for Qin-yun, the huge suspicion that comes with it may be more important. However, although he understands this, there is not much he can do now. It can only be relieved a little from the perspective of strength. Are you surprised too? Naruto asked in confusion. Nonsense. Qin-yun said, it seems that all of you have seen the picture just now, which means that if it is an illusion, all of us have been hit at the same time, which can make us all fall into illusion. Yes, this strength is quite impressive. And a guy with such strength, why is he eyeing me and Hinata? I really don't understand. You didn't do this? Naruto said. I have that strength, and am I still staying at the ninja school with you every day? Qin-yun said, this strength is more than enough to hang 10 Sasukes. Well, that's true. Naruto thought for a while. Especially the last sentence, which is very much to my liking. Damn. What do you mean by hanging and beating 10 Sasukes? Next to Naruto, Haruno Sakura stood up in dissatisfaction. It's almost the same as hanging 10 Naruto. Naruto was speechless. Sakura. In Sakura's heart, the status of herself and Sasuke is really an underground, a heaven. But even so, Naruto did not resent Sakura. After all, Sakura can never be wrong for him. It's all the fault of pretending to be Sasuke. It's a pity that this time it doesn't look like it was really performed by Kamidai Haruyan, otherwise, I really want to see him hang 10 Sasukes. Well, all in all, in my opinion, either the caster is very strong, but in this case, I can't figure out why he is targeting Hinata and I, who are still in the ninja school and are not even officially ninja, or... Qin-yun said. Either what? Not only because of curiosity, but also to ease the embarrassment of Sakura's sentence of hanging 10 Naruto, just now, Naruto quickly asked. Or, from the perspective of time and space, what kind of future image is projected to the present? Qin-yun said. But isn't that a coincidence? Yes. Naruto said. If there is any projection of future time and space, I would rather see the projection of the day when I defeat Sasuke in the future. Forget it, it's useless to guess this now. I don't know whether only we saw this picture, or whether others saw it too. All in all, let's take a look at the situation first. Aha. While Qin-yun analyzing. Firehouse. The 3 generations of Hokage who opened the telescope and originally followed the 2 focus characters Naruto and Sasuke through the crystal ball, as well as Kakashi, Asuma, Yuhika, etc. Man, the analysis was similarly quick at this time. Because, they also saw the image in the sky just now. And through the crystal ball, they also directly learned that not only they in Naruto, but also Iruka and others in the ninja school saw the image at the same time. Then this also means that if this is some kind of illusion, this illusion, its coverage, at least from Naruto to ninja school. Can anyone really do such a thing? This is impossible. Even the 3 generations of Hokage can't do it. Special Joinin, Yuhika, who was specially promoted to Joinin for his expertise in illusion, couldn't do the same either. What's more, the cast objects also include shadow-level powerhouses like the 3 generations of Hokage. If someone really can do such a thing, and at the same time maintain such a large range of magic, but also let the shadow-level powerhouse be recruited, it means that that person is at least obviously above the shadow level. Strength. And with such strength, it took so much effort to perform a technique, and the result was to show a scene where the future Hinata confessed to the future Chinyan. If someone really did that, then almost everyone present would probably want to say something to him. Are you bored, or do you have problems with your brain? Red, do you think it's really possible that Chinyan did it? The 3rd Hokage looked at Yuhika and said slowly. After all, Haruyan Kamadai is a distant relative of the Yuhi family and a close neighbor today. It's impossible. Yuhi Hong said, although I don't know him very well, but, not to mention what benefits it will do to him, with his strength, it's impossible to do such a thing. Even if Haruyan Kamadai hides his strength, it is really impossible to do this. Beside him, Kakashi also said, also, even if he can do it, he doesn't need to make such a big fanfare. Even us in the Hokage Tower will watch it. To the same image. If there is any plot against Hinata, directly performing illusions on Hinata alone will not only have a higher success rate, but also be invisible. No matter how you talk about it, it is better than the fanfare just now. Unless his strength is strong enough to make him so arrogant, but, as he said, if he really has such arrogant strength, does he still need to nest in a ninja school? Well, I think so too. 3 Hokage said slowly. First of all, it is very reassuring to rule out the possibility that Kamadai Haruyan has supermovie level strength. In this case, it seems that there is really only the possibility, he said. Beside, Asma said. Because of special reasons in time and space, the images of the future are projected to the present. While this explanation may sound bizarre, it is also the only and most plausible explanation I can think of. What are the possibilities you said? At this time, a middle-aged man's voice came from outside the room. Report Hokage-sama. Chief Hyuga is here. At the door, a ninja quickly reported. Editing the marriage scene of the fan game was taken seriously. Chapter 4. Chapter 5 3 Generations of Hokage, Konoha wants to support Hinata and Chinyan's free love. Those who came quickly were the current patriarch of the Hyuga clan, Hyuga Hizu, and the 2 elders. 3 generations of Hokage quickly signaled to let them in. The patriarch of the Suinzu has always come here very rarely. The 3rd Hokage said, it seems that you also saw the image just now. Lord Hokage said so, seems to have seen the same. Hinata Hizu said. So, the entire Konoha village should have seen it, said the 3rd Hokage. It may even be the entire ninja world. It's a little fun to say here. Because, the illusion that can be performed on the entire Konoha village, or even the entire ninja world, is obviously not something that, Chinyan-kun, can do. Accordingly, the suspicion of him can be completely ruled out. Of course, the image happened to be related to him. In order to eliminate all potential threats, perhaps it was time to investigate him secretly afterwards. And now, when it is basically certain that it is not the hands and feet of that, Chinyan-kun, another fact can be derived. The eldest daughter of your Hinata clan, Hinata, will confess to a little-known ordinary boy, a distant relative of the Yuhi family, and an orphan of the Nine-Tails Rebellion in the future. Congratulations. In this way, Hyuga loses a big help. After all, the eldest daughter of the Hinata clan, regardless of whether she will inherit the clan in the future, her marriage is very important to Hinata. For example, Hinata can let her marry the top man in the clan to maintain the strength of the clan. There is also a small possibility for her to marry other ninja elites to establish foreign aid for Hyuga. Either way, it is more favorable for Hinata. But rather, She herself chose a little known, and determined to have no power, and there is no ninja power behind the god's generation Haruyan. And this time it was also publicly broadcasted. The eldest daughter of the Hyuga sect family likes a nameless boy who has no power, such a thing. Of course, Konoha has to support it. Free love. Everyone is family. You can't let Hyuga, always engage in alliances within the clan, or marriages between clans, right? Even if Hyuga couldn't come to the Hokage building, later, the 3 generations of Hokage may take the initiative to visit Hyuga to escort the free love and escort of the 2 Konoha children. After all, it doesn't matter who Kamadai Haruyan is, the important thing is that he has no power, no background, and will not pose a threat to anyone. If you marry Hinata, you can take away the power of the Hinata clan for nothing. That's enough. So, what do you think, Hokage-sama, about this incident? Hyuga Hizu still didn't know the fast thoughts of the 3 generations of Hokage. At this time, she was still quite upset because the daughter of her clan would openly confess to a person who was not famous and not from the Hyuga clan. Find out what's going on in this incident. We were speculating just now that if this incident was a man-made illusion, then this illusion would at least cover a large area from Naruto to Ninja School, because we in Naruto and Iruka in Ninja School and others, both saw the image at the same time. 3 generations of Hokage slowly said. And now, the Suinzu Patriarch, you have also seen the image in the Hyuga clan, so it means that the image covers at least the entire Konoha, and maybe even the entire ninja world. In such a large range, we don't think there is any possibility of artificial manipulation. So it is more likely that the future images are projected to the present because of some changes in time and space. You mean, the images in the images are all real events from the future? Hyuga Hizu said solemnly. That's right. The 3 generations of Hokage said slowly, although I am surprised, it seems that your daughter, the Hizu Patriarch, will deeply like that god's Haruyan in the future. Regarding the natural feelings between the children of Konoha, Hiyori Patriarch Foot, you shouldn't forcefully interfere, right? The last sentence of the 3 generations of Hokage made Hyuga Hizu silently. Obviously, there is a certain knock in the words. This kind of thing, the 3 generations of Hokage have not done it. At the beginning, Yunin's messenger came to rob Hina Tian, but he was killed in self-defense at home, and then the 3 generations of Hokage came forward for Yunin, forcing himself to commit suicide in the name of, for the overall situation of the village, which eventually led to his younger brother, Hyuga. The matter of his own suicide, even though it has been several years, is still the same as yesterday. Hyuga, I don't want to be beaten again. But even so, it cannot be completely ignored. The future is also caused by a series of factors in the present. Hyuga Hizu thought for a while and said, if they really love each other, I will naturally not interfere too much, but now, I want to know a little bit about Hina Tian's graduation group. This happened just now. If the 2 of them are divided into a group, I am afraid it will cause a discussion in the whole village. Could it be that because of this grouping, Hinata was assigned to that, Chinyinkuen, and was kidnapped by that, Chinyinkuen? If this is the case, you must try your best not to let them group together. True love, I can see the face of your 3 generations of Hokage and not interfere, but if it is because of this grouping, in order to avoid the discussion in the village, I will protect, from the standpoint of a father. My own daughter, interfere with her grouping, is it okay? The Sunfoot Patriarch doesn't have to worry about this matter. On the opposite side, the 3 generations of Hokage smiled meaningfully. As far as I know, Hinata and Haruyan Kamadai are not a group. As he spoke, he flipped through the ninja roster in front of him. Not a group. Hyuga Hizu was taken aback for a moment. The next moment, an unpleasant feeling came to mind. I seem to have been tricked by the 3 generations of Hokage. Hinata will be teamed up with the oil girl Shino and Inazukaya, as the 8th class, to guide the joinin as Yuhika. 3 generations of Hokage said, among them, let Hinata be his own disciple, or Yuhika. Shanjin took the initiative to propose, and it is said that it was also inspired by you, the patriarch of the Sun Foot. Kamadai Haruyan will be in a group with Shiranui Hayama and Mizumura Chikura. As the 11th class, this class is an additional group because the final number does not match, and the guide will be Yuzuki, who was temporarily transferred from Umbu. Sunset. There is no special relationship between the two teams, so it shouldn't cause discussion in the village. On the contrary, these two completely different groups of people can finally fall in love with each other. Presumably everyone in the village will pay attention and bless them. The implication is that you can't go against the village, Hyuga Suinzu. Hyuga Suinzu really caught the other party's set. If they really love each other as in the image, I will naturally bless each other. After a while, Hyuga said helplessly, but with a bit of luck, however, that image, now no one can make a conclusion, it must be is it the future. I'm not going to admit that's the truth. Well, that's right. Seeing that her plan was successful, the eldest young lady of the Hyuga clan would marry a nameless boy without power and power in the future. If there is any way to further prove that that is a real image of what will happen in the future, all the better. Just saying here. At this time, the surrounding light and shadow suddenly changed again. The roof above the crowd became transparent again. Could it be that? Chapter 6 Hinata, I must have fallen in love with Chinyin-kun like this. Everyone present was at least at the Jinin level, and everyone quickly had a premonition of what might happen next. Time and space change, and there is something to be projected. Immediately, Chi looked into the air. Their hunch was not wrong. In midair, at this time, another image spread out. Let me go. At the same time, there was a rather immature, tender, girl's voice. Hearing the voice and seeing two figures in the image, Hyuga Hizu's pupils could not help shrinking. Could it be that? At the ninja school, Qin Yun also looked at the sky, and his heart moved. The second video is out. However, this part is a scene from the anime. After all, in order to make it easier for him to supplement his brain and satisfy himself more easily, Qin Yun will still give himself some plots for YY. And this episode, in the settings, in his mind, was when Yunin hijacked Hinata at the beginning, he happened to witness it nearby, and then came forward to testify for Hinata. Although it did not change the fact that the three generations of Hokage had to kill the leader of Hyuga and Rasaba to take the initiative to take the blame, the heroic figure that came forward still made young Hinata have a deep feeling for himself since he was a child. Good impression. It is also the memory of the flashback mode of the Hinata line that IYYYY, first acquaintance of the year. Of course, this plot can only be automatically completed in my mind. It is still a little difficult to make yourself an animated picture of coming forward and testifying for Hinata. So I can only put a piece of the original scene, and the rest will be made up by myself. And at this moment, this original scene was played. Yunin hijacks Hinata. Hyuga Hizu found out later, and killed Yunin Messenger with one blow. And then the screen jumped, and in the late stage of the Chunin exam, Hyuga Hizu recalled the scene at that time, as well as the cause and effect, and knelt down to apologize to Hyuga Niji. Hyuga Suinzu. Niji. Hinata. Everyone. Yunin's messenger came to rob people and was killed by the other party in self-defense at his own door. In the end, he was able to force the three generations of Hokage to let the leader of the Hyuga clan commit suicide and apologize. This. 3 generations, you are indeed old. Somewhere in the country of grass, a man with a face like a snake said leisurely. Is Konoha still being bullied by people like this? In Konoha village, as well as in many other ninja villages, and even in the whole world, many people who are not ninjas can't help but think secretly. This Konoha, this Hokage, is too soft. Right? It's not soft, it's something else planned. Yenin village, the 3rd generation of soil shadows and 2 days of balance, Onomu secretly said in his heart. Taking advantage of the Yunin messenger incident, he weakened such a big family as Hyuga and made his dominance more stable. He even helped his son Sarutobi Asuma to ascend to the throne. After the death of the 4th Hokage, the 3rd Hokage immediately returned to take over the position of Hokage. People with his means are not as weak as most people imagine. 3 Hokage. What the hell? Playing this video, this thing. Isn't this a slap in the face in front of the whole world? Uncle, I'm sorry. Just now, Hinata, who was embarrassed for publicly confessing to Qingyun in front of countless people, felt apologetic in her heart. Even the previous shyness dissipated for the time being. It was all because of myself, because I was so incompetent that I was almost kidnapped by the enemy, which triggered a series of events that followed, embarrassing my father and causing my uncle to commit suicide. Originally, because Hinata was young when this incident happened, I didn't remember it very clearly, but at this moment, everything was instantly recalled. That's right, that's exactly what happened back then. What is shown in the video is the truth. But in this way, can it be said that in the future, I will really? Editing the marriage scene of the fan game was taken seriously. Chapter 5. Confess to Qin Jun. Why would he stop liking Naruto, but fall in love with him? Did something important happen between the two? Could it be that Jun Qingyun, like his uncle saving his father, even sacrificed himself to save himself in times of crisis? Then, in that case, you really have to repay his kindness. And now that I know that such a thing might happen, I must make myself stronger from now on, so that such a dangerous thing cannot happen again. For a moment, Hinata seemed to want to understand everything. In the future, Qingyun will definitely save himself once or even many times. Unlike Naruto, who has been paying attention to Sakura, no matter how weak he is or how inconspicuous he is in the crowd, although in the previous video, the grown-up appearance seems to be barely enough, he has been paying attention to himself and trying to protect him. Own. I am not hard-hearted, of course I will be moved by it, and gradually fall in love with him. That must be the case. And this time, although I will redouble my efforts to prevent him from always worrying about himself and risking his own death, but even if the future will change, in the original future, his heart for himself, he also still can't fail. The future self will fall in love with him, it must be because he has really done too many things and has too much tenderness towards himself. Just because I changed the future this time, maybe even changed the future with his help, and I didn't let him do a lot of things for me to move me, I can't erase his intentions for me, and erase what he originally did for me. Past thing. Even if the future changes, he will definitely remember his kindness to himself. Qingyun. Thinking of various events in the future, Hinata was serious and moved. Fortunately, I didn't appear this time. At the same time, not far away, Qingyun let out a sigh of relief. Chapter 7 Hinata, wishing to live and die together. Fortunately, when I made the video, in order to facilitate the brain to make up a complete set of plots, I also edited a lot of other scenes without my appearance. For example, in order to send away the disliked Sakura, some pen raids the village, Sakura calls Naruto, edited in. Then it is matched with the plot that I made up my brain, because I met Uzumaki Xiang-rin early, the game Xiang-rin has a clip, without Xiang-rin's help, and Sasuke died in the Battle of the Eight Tails, no editing. In the end, YY came up with an ending where Sakura turned to Naruto and hugged Naruto. The original Sakura made a false confession to Naruto, letting Naruto give up and continue to chase Sasuke. And the corresponding famous scene in the Uchiha genocide incident, my stupid Odudu. And the death of 3 Hokage. And so on. In this way, there are no two consecutive videos that are centered on themselves. Otherwise, for a while, all the doubts will really overwhelm him once again. And I, now, is not strong enough to face too much suspicion. But it's a bit difficult for Hinata. The beginning is 2 consecutive scenes related to her, one is a confession, the other is being robbed. Now she must be very embarrassed, right? Thinking of this, Qingyun quickly looked at Hinata with concern. At a glance, I saw Hinata, who just happened to be looking at him at this time. In his eyes, there seems to be a gentle Seeing Qingyun looking at him, and when he was moved and subconsciously looking at him just now, he happened to bump into him, and Hinata's face turned red again in an instant. Qingyun. Hinata's heart jumped for a while, and the next moment, because the emotions were too intense, the whole person's mind suddenly crashed. Then, with a bang, he fainted and lay on the table. Qingyun. What's going on, Hinata? Just looked at yourself and just fainted. How does it feel like talking to or looking at Naruto in the original book? Or it's the same as a certain transition stage in the game when the favorability reaches a certain level. Qin thought about it, and quickly looked carefully at Hinata. Invitation to dinner. Invitation to team up. Practice together. Together task. Point enhancement. Change clothes. Attitude/enemy and I. Towards the attitude item and then click into it with your mind. Attitude/enemy, willing to live and die together, friendly. Hi. Qin. The good feelings have reached the point where they are willing to live and die together. This. How is this going? You obviously haven't done anything yet. I haven't started the strategy yet. How do I feel that the strategy rate has exceeded 80%? The next step is, wish to be with you for the rest of your life, you can have a good relationship for 100 years. Willing to live and die means that even if Hinata is allowed to risk life and death for herself, she will be willing to do it. This is not necessarily love, it may be friendship, but as a friendship, it is already the highest stage of friendship, and it can be said that it is at the turning point from quantitative change to qualitative change. Just like the original Hita's feelings for Naruto at the beginning, it can't actually be called love, but more of a strong longing. Before the Chunin exam, until the written test stage, Hinata sat next to Naruto. He would faint directly, and even took the initiative to open his mouth and wanted to copy the answer to the test paper for him. At this time, Hinata was only slightly shy when facing Naruto, and that was largely because she was shy. In her heart, there was nothing that she felt embarrassed about at that time, so naturally she would not be too embarrassed. However, other events such as Naruto's encouragement occurred in the Chunin exam later, which made something officially change qualitatively. Then, as soon as Hinata approached Naruto, his brain would be overloaded. At that time, it is the love in the true sense of men and women. Because I feel that the kind of words I like to say are too embarrassing, so I will be emotionally overloaded for a moment. And now, Hinata seems to have reached the level of affection he had for Naruto at the beginning of the original novel to himself. As for the direct fainting, just like when facing Naruto in the middle of the original novel, it was because the two directly looked at each other just now, which caused too much impact in a short period of time, thus causing emotional overload, and it should not be because of men and women emotion in the sense. Hinata should be mostly friendly to herself at present, and there has been no qualitative change. But do you have such a deep friendship with Hinata? Qin has a question mark in his mind. Really can't figure out what's going on. After all, you haven't done anything yet. Just played a video just now. As for Hinata, just because the video said she would confess to herself in the future, she just followed her fate and suddenly developed a strong impression of herself. With her serious attitude towards feelings, she is not someone who will change her feelings according to fate because of "this is fate." Only the people who really moved her would she have a deep, may life and death, level goodwill. But what did he impress her? It is difficult to answer this question right now. Only if the relationship with Hinata goes further in the future, maybe you can ask her what happened today and why she had such a high opinion in the first place. While Qin was puzzled. Sure enough, this is indeed a real event. Naruto, Hyuga Hizu took a deep breath. Chapter 8 Hyuga Hizu, Hinata for him, I still have fireworks. Sure enough, this is indeed a real event. Not only Yunin robbing people, but the death of the day is a real event that has already happened. Moreover, even what he showed in the second half of the video, where he knelt down to apologize to Niji Hyuga, was definitely something that his future self might do. In the eyes of outsiders, as the patriarch of the Hyuga clan, he would definitely not make such a move as kneeling and kowtowing to a junior of the branch. Therefore, almost no one would deliberately forge such images, because that would make arouse suspicion. However, only he knows how much he feels guilty about his brother's death. If Niji really has resentment against the Hyuga sect family because of this, as long as he can be forgiven, whether it is kneeling or kowtowing, he will do it himself. Just like shown in the video. So, that image is indeed a real event that will happen in the future. As for why the images are not continuous this time, there is still a gap between the two segments before and after. There is even a magical, memories mode. It may be that there is some mysterious power in time and space that dominates it. Just like ninjutsu, why do you make a few gestures and cooperate with a certain amount of chakra to release all kinds of wind, thunder, water, fire and earth? And why the white eyes of the Hyuga clan can see so far and have those special abilities, who can really explain all this clearly? This simply does not conform to the usual rules of physics. It can only be said that in this world, there are many mysterious powers that cannot be explained by common sense. It is not surprising at all to say that there is God's will. In this way, the previously considered projection of future images to the present may not necessarily be accurate. Because now even the past has been projected, and there is even a memories mode, obviously there is some special will in control. But that kind of mysterious will is not something you need to explore. Just as there is no need to explore why fire ninjas can release fires of different shapes by making a few gestures, why can't they slap with both hands, shout whatever they want, and release the corresponding escape technique directly? Who is the maker and operator of this peculiar rule? What kind of will, what kind of existence? There are only two things you need to know. First, today's events really have nothing to do with that, Qin Yunjun. It is impossible for him to have such strength, and it is even more impossible for him to know so clearly what happened when he was very young, even the guilt in his heart for his younger brother, and even the possibility that he really could kneel to Ningji Hyuga. I'm sorry, I know so clearly. And it can also be shown to the world by means of projection. If he can do this, he can already be said to be the master level of this world. But is he? He obviously isn't. So this matter has nothing to do with him, and it is not within his ability. And secondly, the projections appearing in mid-air, it seems, are really facts. Editing the marriage scene of the fan game was taken seriously. Chapter 6. Although it may have been edited and organized by a certain will, like writing a book, and even turned on the peculiar memory mode, but that will, it dared to open the memory mode in the projection so blatantly, and in the second half, he also released an image of himself kneeling to a young man in the branch as the patriarch. Obviously, the existence who did this kind of thing did not care whether others would doubt the authenticity of the projection. Believe it if you like it, or pull it down if you don't. Believe me, you can get some information in advance. For example, Niji used to hold a grudge against the Zong family. Don't believe me, it's up to you. Anyway, you can't do anything to me, and you won't cause any loss to me. And it is this attitude of not caring whether others are suspicious or not, and not caring about others' reactions, that makes the projection more credible. Hirohito sighed inwardly. Since the image comes from the real. So it seems that his eldest daughter Hinata really would have fallen in love with that, Qin Yunjun. I was planning to stop it. Now think about it, forget it. Let them go. After all, if they were destined to be together, I didn't want to go against the will of that mysterious power, and I didn't have the capital to risk punishment and forcibly go against it. Who would be foolish enough to fight against the will of the world master? Hinata will leave it to the guy named Qin Yun. Anyway, she had no qualifications, and he basically gave up on her. Fortunately, I still have fireworks in my hands. And fireworks talent is even better. Thinking of her little daughter Hana, Hyuga Hizu felt comforted again. Soon, I was too lazy to follow the 3 generations of Hokage who were slapped in the face in front of the whole world and who would soon be called the softest Hokage of all dynasties. Hateful. Hyuga Hizu has accepted his fate, but the face of the 3 generations of Hokage is hot at this time. If this video is really played in front of the whole world and the whole world. So just now, the fact that Yunin Jiren and Hin Xiang were forced to almost commit suicide by the patriarch has already been known to the world at this time. In Konoha village, he can still control the fishing reel, so that everyone will not criticize. However, in other villages and other places, how can I control myself? Chapter 9 Offering his head and begging for peace, the strongest Hokage in all dynasties. The 3 generations of Hokage are really the weakest Hokage in all dynasties. Yeah. Yunin came to rob people, and Konoha's people defended themselves in their own homes and killed each other. As a result, the 3 generations of Hokage actually let the self-defense Konoha ninja commit suicide. And let the leader of a big family like Hyuga commit suicide. Is there such an operation? It's a bit, so spineless. Even if Yunin threatened to fight, even if the strength of Konoha village declined at that time, Yunin might not really dare to fight. Yeah. Yunin also lost the important 3 generations of Reikage in the Third Ninja War. That Reikage is really fierce. Have you heard of it? It is said that Yenin village used 10,000 ninjas to besiege him at the time. After fighting with him for 3 days and 3 nights, he finally died from exhaustion. That's a tough one. On the other hand, the 3 generations of Hokage. Is he really the strongest Hokage in history? Stronger than the first Hokage? I heard that the first Hokage was invincible in the entire ninja world at the time. Then he was called the of ninjas. Even if you are old, as long as the first generation is not dead, the major shinobi villages will not dare to fight. And the 3 generations of Hokage directly let important people in their village commit suicide and offer their corpses to the enemy for peace. The second video is played. The entire ninja world, various small and large ninja villages, and even many unrelated civilians in various countries who have a little understanding of the ninja world, all started talking about it. And the 3 generations of Hokage, who was secretly delighted because the eldest young lady of the Hyuga sect family would fall in love with a powerless and unnamed junior, didn't even want to leave the door for a while. But fortunately, he has always stayed in Konoha village. Since he almost lost his life at the end of the first ninja war and managed to escape by relying on the second generation Hokage's queen, he has become the second ninja war since the second ninja war. He of Hokage has always used the excuse of being in the village and never left the village to go to the battlefield again. As long as I don't leave the village, no matter how much the outside world talks about me, I can't hear it. It can be assumed that it never happened. And the other side. After quickly asking the top management whether to make some changes to the grouping because Hinata appeared in the video twice in a row this time, and also made a public confession to the same session of Haruyan Kamidai in one of the videos, and got the after "don't have to change" response. Irika also officially announced the grouping arrangement as before. That's great. I'm with Sakura. Actually going to be with Naruto. What? Pretending to force Sasuke to be in the same group. Okay. It's actually with Sasuke. As in the original book, the 7th class is Naruto Sakura, the upper class is Kakashi, the 8th class is Hinata Shiranai, the upper class is Yuhika, the 10th class is the Pig Deer Butterfly, and the upper class is Asuma. It's just that there is a special 11th class this time. The members are Haruyan and Shiranui Hama, Mizumura Mizuno, and the guide is Yuzuki Yuyen, who was transferred from Umbu. This is really forcibly walking the Shien line in the game. Qin secretly complained. Don't ask me, Yuzuki Yuyen was originally Umbu, why did she suddenly come to guide Joinin? Asking is a mysterious will from outside the world. In other words, the power of the game script, just like adding the character and the corresponding background of the gods, the corresponding plot is automatically added. For example, I originally wanted to let the Moonlight Blast to guide this new team, but the Moonlight Blast just happened to be unwell, so temporarily changed to a new candidate who is similar to his skills and uses Konoha-style swordsmanship. There's nothing strange about this. After all, things like traversal and projection can happen, and the game system also came to this Naruto world with Qin, and everything is impossible. Of course, there are actually some explanations. For example, let Yuhika from the illusion department guide Hinata and the others from the physical department, and let Yueguang Hayes or Yuzuki Yuyen from the physical department guide Qin and others from the illusion department. It is a special combination to prevent the skills of the lower ninjas from going too far, and try to be as comprehensive as possible. Otherwise, if the team is full of illusions, and then encounters an enemy who just restrains illusions, then you must directly GG. But these are the details. Rather than caring about the details that have settled down, Qin is more concerned about how to use the existing conditions, improve his strength as soon as possible, and whether the game system can be as powerful as in the game. Then, there are no other arrangements in the morning. The members of each group can get to know each other more first. In the afternoon, your respective guides will come to take you away. Above. After announcing the appropriate class assignments, Irika left the classroom soon after. Too many amazing things happened today, and he also needs to go back and digest it well, and have a talk with the people. After all, Hinata, who appeared in the video twice in a row, is her own student. The Kandai Haruyan, who was confessed at the beginning, is also his own student. Hey, why didn't Sakura confess to me? Naruto sighed regretfully. I want to be on camera too. And if Sakura confessed to herself, that would be perfect. Confess to you? When she heard Naruto's words, Sakura glared at Naruto with a displeased expression. Dream. It won't be possible for another 100 years. Naruto was speechless. Not far away, Chin-yun smiled secretly in her heart. If you have something to do, Luto, if you have nothing to do with sass, this is really. However, it doesn't matter what Sakura does, she doesn't care anyway. Compared to Sakura, now, Chin-yun is more concerned about Hinata, who is not far away, who is embarrassed and embarrassed. After all, in the first paragraph of the opening just now, she openly confessed to herself in front of countless people. For the shy, this is a scene of social death. Although it was said that this was a test for the shy, but, as a man, he really should help her share a little. Chapter 10 Hina Tian, Chin-yun Jun plus 20 points. Chin-yun thought for a while, then stood up and walked towards Hinata. Soon he came to the side of Hinata. Hina, are you alright? Chin-yun said softly. Ah. Chin-yun-kun. Hinata, who had just woken up, suddenly flushed again. I saw you suddenly fainted just now, should you be affected by that image? Chin-yun said. Speaking of the image, Hinata couldn't help but think of her public confession in the future, and her face couldn't help but turn even redder. You don't need to pay too much attention to that image. After all, no one knows what's going on there. Chin-yun said, also, if it's a future projection, it's very strange. Very strange? Hinata asked in confusion, where is it strange? If that's really you in the future, you were really a beautiful woman at that time. Even if you confessed, it would be more likely that I would confess to you. Chin-yun spread her hands, after all, look at me, ordinary, and have no family background, no background, nothing, how could a beautiful woman like you take the initiative to confess? No, Chin-yun-kun. Chin-yun-kun must be working very hard. Hearing Chin-yun's self-deprecating self-deprecation, Hinata immediately said seriously. After all, in the future, he has worked hard to protect himself time and time again. And I'm also very weak, and I also implicated my uncle when I was a child. Hinata said again. Well, you were still young at that time. Whoever changed it, the result was the same when it happened to that kind of thing. Chin-yun said, that can't be blamed on you at all. Hearing Chin-yun's comfort, Hinata couldn't help but move. He really cares about himself so much. Wow. That guy Chin-yun, is he caring about his future wife? Seeing that Chin-yun took the initiative to walk over to talk to Hinata, many people in the classroom quickly began to discuss. Of course, everyone saw it just now. The two of them will be together in the future. Hey, he made too much money. The future Hinata in the video just now looks really beautiful. Is it too late to catch up now? What do you say? Hey, let that guy Chin-yun find it cheap. Obviously I'm much more handsome than him. What can I say, I'm the most handsome. The discussion of the crowd soon spread into the ears of Chin-yun and Hinata. Hearing the words, Mrs. Future, Hinata's face couldn't help blushing even more. Look, everyone also thinks that you are beautiful in the future, Hinata, and I am nothing. Chin-yun spread her hands leisurely and joked to herself. In the future, Hinata, you can be more confident, plus you have always been serious, you will definitely become an excellent ninja in the future. I will try my best. Hinata said. After all, I had already made up my mind just now, and I must work hard in the future, and I can't let Chin-yun-kun take risks to protect himself again and again like the original, future. Editing the marriage scene of the fan game was taken seriously. Chapter 7. And Hinata said again. Having said that, he swallowed the words again. And what? Chin-yun said. No, nothing. Hinata blushed. And Chin-yun-kun, you are also very good, and very gentle. Soft and handsome. Although in terms of appearance alone, Qin only has 85 to 90 points, but when he thinks of the future of his various efforts, all kinds of care, all kinds of gentleness and tenderness, Hinata directly gives Qin an extra 20 points. However, she was obviously embarrassed to say such things directly. Well, all in all, that's all I want to say. Qin said, next, let's work hard. Hinata blushed and responded earnestly. Qin, on the other hand, did not bother anymore, looked around, and then walked towards his two future teammates. Now, in addition to the emotional line, he has other important things to do. After all, although there are a lot of scenes in which I don't appear in my edited video, and I can't have the ability to cast illusions on the whole world now, I shouldn't be too suspicious now. However, if the video continues to be broadcast, after all, he will still occupy a large proportion and always be on camera. And as the perfect harem palace line that I made myself, many excellent heroines in the world of Naruto are actually related to themselves in the video, and such things will gradually surface. At that time, it will be difficult for you not to be focused on by others. Just in case someone has ulterior motives against themselves because of this. You must have enough strength to deal with all that. Even, there is still a bit of a race against time. Get super powerful as soon as possible before the video is broadcast in large numbers. And speaking of strength, I have to mention, my own related skill tree. Chapter 11 Infinite Matryoshka. Hinata, I want to run with Qin-kun. When he started the game, he was the Yuhi family distant relative of Yuhi Red Line and certain other lines, and his specialty was the illusion department similar to Yuhi Red, but it was very different. Different from Yuhika's pure illusion, Qin has the potential of illusion materialization. The entire skill tree is also based on illusion, fantasy, and various derivative applications. Techniques, etc., is not the illusion style of Yuhika. And speaking of phantasmagoria, this skill, in the Naruto world, or in the original game, has a bug. That is, we can consume 10,000 chakra points, use illusion to construct an immature divine tree, and materialize its immature fruit, and then eat it immediately. Although the fruit of the divine tree will soon be corrected by the world and disappear, but before it disappears, it can still digest a small part and get a small part, about 1%, of the special divine tree physique. It is also the physique that the Otsutsuji clan will bring with them when they are born. And because it only digested a small part of it, it will not be counterattacked by the energy and will of the divine tree, and will be affected by the mind like Kagaya. Then, we can wait for the chakra to recover before repeating the above operation. This is equivalent to exchanging 10,000 points of recoverable chakra for 1% permanent special physique. It's also a bit like watering the tree every day, the water is consumed and can be regained in a variety of ways, and the tree grows permanently. So many times. When one's own constitution is strengthened enough to pay 100,000 chakra points, he can use illusion to construct a grown divine tree and materialize the ripe fruit. And then eat it again in one bite. Although the fruit can still only digest a small part, like the previously immature fruit, we can still operate it many times. Use 100,000 points of recoverable chakra in exchange for 1% of the advanced divine tree physique. That is, the physique that the Otsutsuki clan can obtain after eating the fruit of the divine tree. Eat the fruit to obtain a complete and high-level divine tree physique. When the offspring are born, the offspring will automatically obtain a low-end, ordinary divine tree physique, and then the physique can be improved by eating the fruit, a clan can also be turned into a fruit, which can be turned into a fruit by another clan eat it, stack up the physique. And as the physique strengthens step by step, the upper limit of chakra increases, and the later, the faster the recovery of 100,000 chakra points. Then you can repeat the operation to manifest the fruit of the divine tree. Then eat it to strengthen your physique again. And then restore, and then manifest. Referred to as stacking buff, infinite nesting dolls. In the end, get the physique and ability equivalent to 100% of the fruit of the divine tree. With modifiers, we can also change this upper limit to 200%, 300%. Going up, all attributes are already full, so there is no need. Then you can kill Kagaya in seconds with full data. But the spike is boring, and you can see cheating and fake at a glance, so Qin Yun just used 200% of the divine tree to fight Kaguya, and he was idle and repaired some games related to the game. Something that cuts the pure battle scene into the video. And this time, the modifier didn't seem to be brought in synchronously, and I don't know for the time being whether I can get 100% of the advanced divine tree physique at the highest, or 200%. Not much difference though. After all, the 100% high-level divine tree physique has enough chakra volume and chakra strength to materialize skills such as Mudun and Susa. Instantly unlock several new skills. You know, using illusion to construct forests, vines, etc., even Kurenai Yuhi can easily do it. It's just that Hong Yuhi can neither materialize the illusion, nor has the Yang Dun that can maintain the power of the wood, so her vine illusion can only be used as a blindfold. And Qin Yun, who has infinite stacks of buffs and can use illusions to materialize, can finally easily use Mudun, which can cause powerful and real damage to the enemy within a certain period of time, although it will be corrected and disappeared by the world. And some other derivative skills. In the game, only a few skills that have been programmed for a long time will be added, and now, in reality, Qin Yun can completely create more materialized new skills by himself. Coupled with the accumulated combat experience, or in game parlance, excellent micromanipulation. This strength is basically enough to fight any boss. But these are later things. Because, right now. Current properties. Constitution, normal C, ES. Physical art, D+, 91. Ninjutsu, D+, 93. Illusion, C-132. Chakra volume, 91. Chakra strength, wind C/thunder C/water D/fire C/earth E/yin D/yang E. Ninjutsu/secret art/special skill, illusion materialization, to be developed. Rating, lower ninja. The highest attribute C, the amount of chakra is 91. Between 10,000 chakra points, there is a sadly thick barrier. To break this thick barrier, you can use modifiers to quickly operate in the game, and now, in reality. Only use various methods and practice hard as soon as possible. Fortunately, the game function seems to have also brought over. So, there are many ways to improve yourself. For example, Cultivation Mission, 10,000 sword swings/100,000 sword swings. Challenge Mission, Sword Art Challenge Yuyen/Moonlight Gale. Cultivation Mission, Beat the Wooden Man 10,000 times/Beat the Wooden Man 100,000 times. Challenge Missions, Taiju Challenges Uchiha Sasuke/Uzumaki Naruto/Hyuga Hinata, Taishu Challenges Lee Rock/Hyuga Niji, Taishu Challenges Matt Kai/Kakashi. Cultivation Tasks, 1,000 circles around the leaves/10,000 circles around the leaves/100,000 circles around the leaves. Challenge Mission, Endurance Challenge Lee Rock/Endurance Challenge Matt K. Cultivation Tasks, Use Illusion 1,000 times/Use Illusion 10,000 times/Use Illusion 100,000 times, including Illusion Materialization. Challenge Mission, Illusion Challenge Yuhi Red, Illusion Challenge Uchiha Itachi. Training Tasks, Learn 1 C-Rank Ninjutsu of 5 elements/Learn 5 C-Rank Ninjutsu of 5 elements/Learn 10 Ninjutsu of C-Rank and above 5 elements/Master 1 S-Rank Ninjutsu and 5 elements of wind, thunder, water, fire and earth at least 3 each. Challenge Missions, Ninjutsu Challenges Uchiha Sasuke, Ninjutsu Challenges Nara Shikamaru/Temari, Ninjutsu Challenges Kakashi, Ninjutsu Challenges 3 Generations Hokage. Just like a game, as long as you repeat your practice, you can become stronger. Moreover, when the repeated practice reaches a certain number of times, there will be a big boost. In addition, if you successfully challenge the corresponding NPC, you will also gain a lot of experience and greatly strengthen it. Even if the challenge fails, a small amount of reinforcement will be given in the game, such as XX plus 3. All in all, it's time to struggle and challenge. After a little bit of getting to know each other with 2 teammates who were already in the same class and had a certain acquaintance. That morning, Qin Yun quickly ran a few laps around Konoha. 1,000 laps around Konoha / 10,000 laps around Konoha / 100,000 laps around Konoha, Endurance Challenge Lee Lock / Endurance Challenge Mat Kai. These two practices or challenges are in addition to the Immortal Mode, the most obvious addition to Physique and Chakra. And what Qin Yun needs most now is Physique and Chakra. Wow! That Kamadai Haruyan seems to be very motivated. Isn't it because I learned that I would marry a beauty like Hinata in the future, so my motivation has increased several times? There was a quick discussion. Hinata's face turned red again. Qin-Yun-kun. Really hard work. But it's not because I know that I will marry myself in the future, so I work hard. But he would have worked so hard in the original future. It is precisely because he works so hard that in the future, when he encounters danger, he will protect himself again and again. And he really couldn't just wait for him to protect him. Keep his heart and his tenderness firmly in my heart. At the same time, it also becomes the motivation for you to work harder. Thinking of this, Hinata soon found a small tree. Forest, facing a big tree, seized every minute and second of time, and worked hard to practice soft boxing. Suddenly, I want to run laps with Qin Jun and run under the rising sun together. But that kind of thing is really too embarrassing. Chapter 12 Maui Shien, that couple, romantic and hardworking. While Qin Yun and Hinata were training hard. There is a high place with a better view in Konoha village. Editing the marriage scene of the fan game was taken seriously. Chapter 8. At this moment, a purple-haired woman silently looked at the young man running in the circle. That guy seems to have realized that if he wants to marry Hinata in the future, not only will there be many competitors, but there will also be certain obstacles from the Hyuga clan. So, he has to get stronger. After all, now everyone knows that Hinata will become very beautiful in the future. No one competes with him now. It is estimated that there will be many more rivals. The purple-haired woman thought to herself. Then, looking to the other side, the girl Hyuga was punching in a small tree. And Hinata actually worked so hard. Is this because I just saw the death of my uncle in the second video, so I want to work hard? Or is it because I have more strength and confidence to face the opposition of the Hyuga clan when I am with someone in the future? Hinder. But no matter what, both of them worked so hard. What a lovely couple. The purple-haired woman thought for a while, as if she had seen through the minds of the boy and girl. At the same time, I am also very interested in this love. Although I worked in Umbu for a period of time before, Umbu performed tasks and sometimes had to be ruthless. But after all, the woman was only 22 years old at this time, and for that kind of romance, even both lovers had to work hard to get rid of the elders. The love that hinders, goes through hardships and must come together, obviously. Still full of yearning. The boy and the girl are trying their best to be with each other. How romantic. And romance is the dream hidden in every girl's heart. If only I could have such a romantic love at some point. I was thinking so. At this time, I saw a woman with black hair and red eyes nearby, but she also came to this height. The two looked at each other. This costume, this outstanding appearance, because of your outstanding talent in illusion, you were promoted to Yuhika Red, a special jounin, right? The purple-haired woman said. Yes. The black-haired and red-eyed woman was the supervisor of the 8th class where Hinata belonged to Joinin, a distant relative and close neighbor of Haruyan Kamadai, Hong Yuhi. Who are you? Hong Yuhi looked at the purple-haired woman again. Maui Shien. The purple-haired woman said, next, I will serve as the guide for the 11th class. It turned out to be you. Hong Yuhi said. Having said that, standing at a high place, I also glanced at Qin Yun who was still running in circles. That guy Qin Yun, I'll have to give you more advice in the future. Yuhi Hong said. This is what I should do, and he has worked hard enough himself. Maui Shien said, on the contrary, it is me, it is the first time to guide Shanjin, and I don't have much experience in how to guide them. This, me too. Hong Yuhi said. She was even promoted to special jounin not long ago, and she had basically never instructed anyone other than being called to take Hinata away. Otherwise, from now on, let's practice together occasionally. Maui Shien suddenly thought of something and said leisurely. Not only is it convenient for practice, but at the same time. Also by the way to match the romantic couple. It is good. This proposal is also in line with the meaning of Yuihong. It happens to be in physique. In fact, I can't guide Hinata. Sometimes it is more appropriate for you to guide. Then it's settled. A comprehensive consensus has been reached between the two jounin. Occasional joint practice is not only convenient for guiding students, but at the same time, it can also further cultivate the relationship for the young couple. After all, everyone now knows that there is a line between the two of them. The same moment. Ha. Qin Yun is still taking the time to practice hard. He doesn't have much time to waste. Because the red line of the evening sun, the line of the evening face of the moon, and the 100% advanced divine tree physique in the later stage can be said to be the best. However, without modifiers, the early stage is also the most difficult. Because the starting point is too low. The starting point is low, and the next video will draw the world's attention to myself. Once someone is really looking at it, it is not easy to even protect yourself. In order to be able to have enough self-protection ability. Raiders girls or something, you have to stay behind. Qin Yun said that women will only affect the speed at which I draw my sword, and now I just want to make sure I have a foothold. Chapter 13 Maoyue Shiyan, the person you like, is it me? Qin Yun continued to run the circle until nearly noon. Although my legs are numb from exhaustion, there are still some gains. You completed 10 laps around Konoha. Your physique, progress bar, has increased by 1%, and the amount of chakra has increased by 1. Gain 1 self-enhancement point and 1 others, physique enhancement, point. You completed 10 laps around Konoha. Your physique. Well, running laps can be rewarded, which is completely incomparable to others. 10 laps add a 1% physique progress bar, multiply it by 100, and run 1000 laps to get a 100% physique bonus. 10,000 laps can increase your physique by 10 times. 100,000 laps can increase your physique by 100 times. Note, the simplified algorithm is used here, and it is regarded as an infinite increase in the basic physique. Although the physique level display will continue to increase from C to B to A, the bonus is calculated by practicing a basic exercise all the way to level 9999, and the lifting amount of each level remains the same. Like stairs, the height of one step multiplied by 999 is the height of the 999th step. Otherwise, if you use the calculator to calculate the practice bonus and column data according to the deposit rate algorithm, it depends on it's not an online text but a math problem. If you really do this, it's more accurate, but I'm afraid someone will say it's a water word count again. Although it is said that even if the physique is 100 times, due to the low starting point, it is still not as good as Naruto's own physique. However, if the chakra volume is increased by a factor of 100, that is about 10,000 chakra volume. You can start stacking buff operations, and infinite nesting dolls can open the physique of the tree. And it doesn't have to be 100,000 laps. After all, Konoha is not small, at most 100 laps a day. In fact, after the physique reaches a certain level, you can do challenging tasks and improve your physique. In addition, running 10 laps can also get a strengthening point, which can also be added to the amount of chakra. Although the chakra volume can only be +1, but cumulatively, 10,000 circles also have 1,000 chakra points. All kinds of means are added together, and in the end, after running 50,000 laps, it is almost enough to collect 10,000 chakras. 50,000 laps, if 100 laps a day, that's 500 days. If you run 50 laps a day, you can run in 1,000 days. Although this is only an ideal situation, in fact, because of various affairs, it is difficult for me to do 50 laps and 100 laps a day, but looking forward to the future. Haruyan Kamadai, is the man who wants to be the king of runners. After running 20 laps, Qin Yun went to have lunch and rested for a while. In the afternoon, a purple-haired beauty took Qin Yun and Shiranui Hama and Mizumura Chibi out. Then, from now on, I will be your instructor. The purple-haired beauty smiled briskly. Seeing the woman's brisk smile, Qin Yun couldn't help but move slightly in her heart, and her whole body was slightly startled. The moon and evening face. When he appeared in the original work, his lover, Moonlight Blast, died. Since then, he has been living in melancholy and sadness, and has become a standard, sad beauty. Obviously she could have been a very happy beauty, but she was depressed all her life and almost never saw a smile again. Thinking about it, it's even heart-wrenching. But fortunately, in the game, in the Shien line, all this can be changed. Just as the Yuhi Red line added the player character Haruyan, and the setting of Yuhi family distant relative plus neighbor, forcibly added a neighbor to Yuri Red, the Yuzuki Yuyen line also has its own unique setting, that is, the addition of Yuzuki Yu. The plot of Yan's childhood move forced Yuyue Shien to lose one neighbor. That original neighbor was Moonlight Blast. Therefore, Yuyue Shien of this line will not be saddened for the rest of her life because the Moonlight Blast was killed in the Chunin exam. Of course, after all, the two were neighbors when they were young, they knew each other, and they learned the same style of swordsmanship. If Moonlight Blast was killed, Maoyue Shien would still be quite sad. After all, even an ordinary companion, she would not want to see him die, let alone a friend. Before the Chunin exam, before all this happened, Yuzuki Shien was not the sad, beautiful woman image that was later in the original work. At this time, she still has a brisk smile that has never appeared in the original book from beginning to end. Although he has worked in Umbu, when he is not in Umbu, the whole person is still pretty and free and easy as a normal young woman. Think about her sad life in the original book. Such a smile suddenly appeared in front of her eyes. For a traveler who knew the original book and had seen her sad and melancholy face many times in the original book, it was like a rare, cloudless weather in a rainy weather. A ray of sunlight filtering through. Beautiful, yet saddened by the contrast, yet blessed. Because, at this moment, it is still there and has not been deprived. Qin Yun took a deep breath. That smile makes people even want to protect. Huh. We have a handsome young man with a beautiful fiancée. What are you doing looking at me in a daze? Just as he was in a trance, at this time, in front of him, came the brisk and slightly teasing voice of Yuyue Shien. Wouldn't it be because she likes beautiful women like Hinata, and she actually has an interest in other women? This. Qin Yun quickly recovered. It's really interesting to be stubborn now. In front of him, Yuyue Shien laughed nonchalantly. People are still young, but their hearts are not small. In this world, it is not that no one has married more than one person. Oh my wife, it's just. They are either big names, or princes, or they have the strength of the 5 shadows. I heard that a man as young and powerful as the 4th Naruto, there were many beautiful women who were interested in him at that time. Our Qin Shiren, let's think of a way to become the 5 shadows first. Otherwise, without strength and greed, be careful that even Hinata can't keep it. Chuckle. Qin Yun was speechless. In other words, this is not the Hinata line at all. Of course, if there is a chance, Hinata still has to fight for it. Teacher, do you mean that there were many people pursuing the 4th Hokage back then? Beside, Shiranui Yejin said. Of course, Bayuki Shien said, after all, he became Hokage at the age of 22. He is so good, no matter how many women like it, it is normal. If I was born in his era, teacher, maybe we'll like him. It's just that such an outstanding person is a once in a decade or even 100 years. I wonder how long it will take for our Qin Xia Ren to have the strength of the 5 shadows. When you reach the 5 shadows, I may have already. Are you 50 years old? Ha ha ha. Editing the marriage scene of the fan game was taken seriously. Chapter 9. The implication is, kid, don't think too much, hurry up and guard your young field. Qin Yun was about to say something. At this time, in mid-air, the light and shadow suddenly changed. Could it be that? Similar situations have happened twice in the morning. At this time, everyone quickly sensed what might happen, and then involuntarily looked into the sky. Qin Yun, I heard that you actually rejected the appointment of the 5th Hokage to let you succeed the 6th Hokage. At the same time, the voice of a young woman came over. Hokage. Hearing the young woman's words, everyone couldn't help but quickly and carefully turn towards the opposite named, Qin Yun, huh? Why is this name so familiar? Looking at the man. I saw that man, who was just confessed by a certain girl from the Hyuga clan in the morning, Jun Chingyun. Opposite him, this time it was no longer the white-eyed girl from the Hyuga clan that morning. It was another beautiful woman with beautiful long purple hair who was slightly older than the white-eyed girl, but still relatively young. Listening to the meaning in the words of the purple-haired woman, that Chingyun Jun was actually appointed as the 6th Hokage by what, 5 Hokage. So that means, that guy, actually already has the strength of the shadow level. He obviously looks 15 or 16, or 16 or 17. Besides, isn't Konoha the 3rd generation of Hokage now? There were only 4 generations of Hokage before, and who is the 5th Hokage? This is going to be the 6th generation. 3 Hokage. Well. In the confusion, I saw, Kingyunjin, calmly spread his hands, Hokage or something, it's boring to have to deal with a lot of things every day. Rather than being a Hokage, I would rather be with the people I like and live a happy everyday life. Does this, favorite person, you say refer to she and me, or someone else? Hearing his words, the purple-haired beauty smiled comfortably in front of him. If it was you, I would. It's not impossible to promise. This. Chingyun-kun has yet to answer. The picture fades away, leaving endless reverie. The video ends here. However, the whole world, countless people, were collectively silent for a few seconds. The next moment, countless people exclaimed in surprise. Chapter 14 Hinata, oh yeah. Sandai, then I die. Different from the direct confession in the morning, this time, the guy named Chingyun was indirectly confessed by another purple-haired beauty named Shiyan. In front of the world. Moreover, in the words of the purple-haired beauty, it was mentioned that he turned down the position of Hokage, and wanted to be with the beauty he likes and have a happy daily life. There are still people who refuse the position of Hokage. And still so young, with movie-level strength. This. The amount of information was so great that for a while, everyone didn't even know where to start paying attention. Chingyun-kun. Konoha village, a certain glade. Hinata, who was starting to practice boxing again in the woods after having acquainted with her long-acquainted guide Kamito Yuhika, looked at the disappearing image in mid-air, her face embarrassed again. At the same time, it is a slight joy. Chingyun-kun. Really excellent. There are other women who seem to like him too. The future Chingyun Jun, it seems that not only has he helped himself, protected himself, and made himself fall in love with him many times, but his excellence has even made many other women around him fall in love with him. Is this the Chingyun-kun that I will like in the future? Thinking of her confession to Chingyun in the future, Hinata couldn't help but feel a little ashamed and lowered her head. His previous guesses were indeed correct. The future Chingyun-kun worked hard, and finally blossomed. He showed a talent that was not revealed in the ninja school. In the end, he was even appointed as a junior at the age of 16. A Hokage. Great. All of this is the result of his hard work and the greatest proof. It's just that he himself refused the position of Hokage. In his heart, being with the people he loves is even more important than the position of Hokage. Seeing the position of Hokage as nothing, and caring more about the important person in his heart, he was as gentle as he imagined. Even softer than I imagined. It's just that he doesn't know the person he likes in the future, and the future he faces the confession of himself and the future Mr. Shiyen. In the end, who will he choose? Hinata thought subconsciously. The next moment, I realized what I was thinking, and I couldn't help but blushed. I was imagining just now. I was imagining him accepting his confession and then being with me. Too embarrassing. Hinata's face couldn't help but turn redder, and the whole person seemed to be a steam engine. That kid. Not far away, Yuhi Hong secretly cursed in her heart. It's not enough to have a beautiful woman like Hinata in the future, but it's even better with his guidance. Yuzuki Yuyen. Damn it, Shiyen, you acted like you wanted to match him and Hinata in the morning. Why did you rush up in the afternoon? In terms of morals, among the people I know, I, Yuri Hong, would like to call you the strongest. And Hinata, seeing this scene, must be jealous, even angry, right? Look, her face is red with anger. Teacher. In another open space, Shiranu Yejien and Mizukin Chibi, at this time, looked at the guide in front of Kamyunin Yuzuki Yuyen, and for a while, he didn't even know what to say or how to make an expression. It's too embarrassing. I just finished saying, find a way to become the 5 shadows first, then let's talk about it. Become the 5 shadows first and then chase me. Result. In the next second, the opponent really became the 5 shadow level. As for himself, in front of the whole world, he openly took the initiative to show affection to the other party, implying that he would marry him. This. Yui Shien's mouth twitched for a while. Who is playing the video, is he going to be executed in public and deliberately let himself die socially? This. Qin Yun was speechless for a while. He didn't expect that at this time, the confession of Yu Shien was suddenly played. After all, according to the video I made, the second paragraph is obviously the same as Hinata's confession to herself. First let Shao Sakura make a fake confession to Naruto. First play the confession scene, then turn on the recall and flashback modes in the middle, and finally return to the current timeline to officially get married. This is also a romantic art technique, just like after a girl confesses to a boy, the boy also recalls the scenes between himself and the girl in the past, and finds that the two have long been in love with each other, and finally agree with them. Let's go to the hall of marriage together. So this technique is very common throughout the video. But the problem is that Yuzuki Shien's video was not originally in the second paragraph. Could it be because of his official contact with Yu Shien, or because of something that Yu Shien said, triggered a confession? It's like playing games and players triggering the plot, but this time it's the other way around. NPC Yu Shien automatically triggers, special event. Video play. She said, 5 Kage level, and then triggered a story video of herself rejecting the position of Hokage, or in other words, reaching the 5 Kage level. This. It's really not that I deliberately operated to slap my face on the spot. 5th Hokage. At the same time, Konoha Village, Hokage Tower, and the 3rd Hokage took a deep breath. Looking at the image of Haruyan Kamidai, he looked like he was about 16 years old. That is, it happened 3 or 4 years later. After 3 or 4 years, the 5 Hokage is already in power. And want to appoint him as the 6th Hokage. So here comes the question. Where am I? Chapter 15 Orochimaru, got it, let's destroy Konoha. The thing that makes people sweat the most in the world is probably the situation that the 3 generations of Hokage are now encountering. There is no myself in the list of survivors. What this means is self-evident. Although it is only the image that indirectly revealed what Chu came from, but after thinking about it 3 or 4 years later, not only has the seat of Hokage been replaced by the 5th Hokage, but even the 6th Hokage has begun to appoint. And since the 5th Hokage appointed Kamidai Haruyan as the 6th Hokage, and Kamidai Haruyan still had the time to refuse, it also means that the situation in the village at that time was definitely not urgent, and the 5th Hokage did not die because of his death in battle. Formerly named him the 6th generation. In other words, the 5th generation was still alive and well at that time, and it is very likely that they have been sitting in the seat of Hokage for 2 or 3 years, and have had an addiction. Otherwise, he would not have been so proactive and simply wanted to give up the seat to Haruyun, who obviously did not want to grab the seat. The 5th generation might not give way because of a power struggle. 2 things can be deduced from this. First, the 5th generation Hokage will be on the top in the last year or 2, or even this year. Second, the 5th generation Hokage will not be the old Ien friend Danzo who has always coveted the position of Hokage and is also an enemy and a friend. Because, if it was Danzo, he would take the initiative to abdicate in such a good-natured way, unless the sun came out from the west. And if the 5th generation of Hokage will be in the position in the last year or 2, or even this year. So who would that person be? And yourself, where were you then? The former question is puzzling, the latter is terrifying. After all, if there are no special circumstances, as long as he is still alive, he will basically not give up the position of Hokage, unless the other party is really too good like the 4th Hokage Wave Foam Minato, and the people in the village also hope that he can be in the position. After all, the 4th generation was excellent and young at that time, and had an advantage in energy. There was no reason for him to stay in his seat at an age and keep stopping such a young man with strength and energy. However, are there any wizards like Minato Namikaze in the village now? The 3 generations of Hokage thought about it quickly, and then came to the answer. No. And there is no one like Minato Namifang, and he actually gave up the position of Hokage, so. Editing the marriage scene of the fan game was taken seriously. Chapter 10. Thinking about it, it's just chilling. And who will be the 5th generation candidate? Is it Asuma? Although he was once asked to be a 12 guardian ninja at the daimyo of the country of fire, and plated a handful of gold, not only is his strength far from the shadow level, but if he was not there, he would even be a Danzo. However, unless Danzo is gone with him, the 5th Hokage really won't be his turn. So, Kakashi. This is a bit possible, after all, he is the son of White Fang, and a disciple of the 4th generation, and he is indeed a genius. But the current strength is still far from the movie level. Then. Sunshine. This is the most likely. Not only is his strength relatively good, but he is also the patriarch of a large clan like Hyuga. After Chisho and Uchiha fell one by one, Hyuga was the largest clan in Konoha. Although he has repeatedly suppressed and prevented it from developing into a force sufficient to threaten Hokage, it is still the #1 Konoha ninja clan, even larger than the Sarutobi clan. In addition, it is very likely that Hyuga Hizu will be the father-in-law of Haruyan Kamadai. After all, Hinata will fall in love with Haruyan Kamadai, which is known to the world. Therefore, it is understandable that Hyuga Suinzu took the initiative and simply wanted to pass the position to Haruyan Kamadai. The father-in-law passed the throne to the son-in-law. No wonder it's worth it. Good guy. Oh, it's you. Hidden so deeply, after the original Yunin messenger incident, I thought that Hinata had completely shrunk, but I didn't expect. It turned out that he still wanted to hold the position of Naruto. Or, do you want to take revenge on yourself for what happened in the first place, and for the oppression that has been inflicted all this time? Could it be that he was gone because he was assassinated like this? In an instant, the 3 generations of Hokage's brows sank, as if they wanted to understand everything. It seems that we have to be careful next to the Hyuga clan. 3 generations, it seems that you are dead. Somewhere in the country of grass, a man with eyes like a snake smiled faintly. There is no doubt that the image just now revealed an important message from the side. Before long, 3 generations may be gone. And the reason why he's gone. The Konoha collapse plan that I am considering is feasible. And that image, it seems, is indeed something that will actually happen in the future. Because, it is still the day when the new ninjas have just graduated from Konoha Ninja School. There are still 3 or 4 months before the joint Chunin exam. My own Konoha collapse plan and the plan to kill the 3 generations of Hokage in the joint Chunin exam have only been repeatedly conceived in my own mind, and have not been officially implemented, nor have I told anyone about it. However, the image just now revealed that his plan, was successful. The 3 generations of Hokage will be killed by themselves. Obviously no one knew about his plan, but the video said that the plan had been successful. So obviously, that image can't be faked by any human at all. It must come from some kind of world will that can connect to the future, or something like that, showing the future reality. And since it's future real, then. On that day, Qin Yun-jun, who was confessed by 2 beauties, not only would he really be confessed by those 2, but at about 16 years old, he will have the strength of the film level. This is even more amazing than the Namikaze Minato. In the Konoha collapse plan, I have to be a little careful about that guy. After all, it is also shown in the video that he obviously did not die in the Konoha collapse plan, otherwise how could he appear in the future and be nominated for the 6th Hokage? It seems that his strength must be very good now, so even if his Konoha collapse plan succeeds, he still survives. It is even possible that in this operation, he turned the tide for Konoha, so he was nominated for the 6th Hokage at such a young age. Understood. Orochimaru seemed to understand everything for a moment. He already knows everything about the future development. The Konoha crash plan will succeed. 3 generations of Hokage will be killed. But Konoha also has a movie-level character, Qin Jun, who will turn the tide when the Konoha building is about to collapse. Start a new era. Interesting. Speaking of which, the reason why I wanted a Konoha collapse plan was not because of how much I hated Konoha. The original purpose was to see this new trend. Kinyunjin, is it? Well, then I will proceed as planned and see what kind of wind you can set off in the future. In other words, the new book asks for data. If you think this writing is a little new and interesting, I hope you can give me more support. Ask for flowers, ask for ratings, ask for all kinds of things. This book will try not to follow the old routines that have appeared many times in other books, but it is not easy to innovate. If there is no success, it will be overwhelmed by other massive routines. I hope readers and friends who like it will help me. A lot of support. Thank you. Chapter 16 Closing the Spacetime Loop. Yuzuki Shien also understands. Leaf Village. A glade. Mr. Shien, the image just now, don't take it too seriously. The embarrassing scene has not been broken for a long time. Or, no one knows how to break it. After a long while, Qin took the initiative to speak, persuading Mauyue Shien not to care too much about the confession she just made to herself in front of the whole world. Anyway, it's not me who confessed to the other party, is it? Standing and talking without back pain, Qin said that he was very calm, and hoped that Yue Shien could also have a calm and good attitude. Yue Shien. Good boy, it's me who openly woos and confesses indirectly, you're not ashamed, right? Of course I didn't take it to heart. Mauyue Shien said, after all, you can tell at a glance that what's inside is too fake. Too fake. Qin repeated. You look like you are about 16 years old in the image, and you are 3 or 4 years older than you are now, Yuzuki Shien said. In 3 or 4 years, will you be able to become a Hokage-level master? It's not impossible, right? Qin thought for a while. In fact, after 3 or 4 years, he may not be just an ordinary movie-level person at all. Oh. It seems that you really have that confidence. Yue Shien said. Of course. Qin said, I even think that in the future, I may be more than an ordinary Hokage level. Hearing his words, Yuzuki Shien, and Shiranui Hayama and Mizumura Chibi next to her were startled at the same time. Good guy, this kid is really not humble at all, he really thinks that he will be very good in the future. Did you see the image of the future, just now, swell? Do you really think so? Mauyue Shien said. If you don't believe it, you will know in a few years. Qin said. Okay. Mauyue Shien was also interested, if you are really that powerful, then I will really confess to you. I want to see if that image is real or not. And when I heard Yue Shien's words, next to it, Shiranui Yejin and Mizukin Chikue were so shocked that their eyes almost jumped out. Teacher, your manners. Of course, it's limited to what you see in the video, you can be as powerful as you are at the age of 16 or 17 at the latest. Yuzuki Shien said again. Speaking of this, my heart suddenly moved. And many more. Could it be that? It was today that I saw the video and said to him, if you are really that powerful, I will really confess to you, so it took a few years before I really confessed. Because the casual sentence now leads to the future confession, and because the image of the future confession is projected to the present, so he casually said that sentence now. The history of the future affects the present, and the decisions of the present create the future. Formed a space-time closed loop. I see. For a moment, Yuzuki Shien seemed to understand everything at once. In this way, in this closed loop, the guy in front of him will really be nominated for the 6th generation Hokage in the future, and he really wants to confess to him according to today's promise. This. I feel like I've been kidnapped. Forget it, let's go and see. After all, who can comprehend something like time and space? If you really can't resist, then it's better to just enjoy it. Ahem, if fate is doomed, then let it take its course. Just prepare yourself mentally in advance. It is good. On the opposite side, Qin was not polite, and directly took over what Yue Shien blurted out. After all, there are beauties who say that they want to confess to themselves, why not do it? Yui Shiyan. Okay, that's what happened just now. Let's start practicing. After a brief acquaintance with each other, Qin Yun continued to practice soon. Now I am practicing with the team, so I will not run in circles for the time being. Instead, it was changed to the practice of illusion. Although Yuzuki Yuyen is playing swordsmanship, running laps is really important, because it strengthens the physique and is the root of everything. However, the practice of illusion is equally important to Qin Yun. Because I need some special abilities of the illusion department in the early stage, otherwise some levels will be difficult to pass. And because of the built-in game system, for Haruyan, as long as he constantly uses illusion, or materializes illusion, he can gradually strengthen in escape. This is also a special benefit for gamers. Just like running a circle, running can really get stronger. And as long as you continue to use the illusion to increase the strength of the in escape, when the strength of the in escape reaches the sea level, you can materialize some special things by consuming a certain amount of chakra. In the game, it is only that can materialize in the world of Naruto Sharingan.